On this morning. It should be the morning time. Stop that. We didn't want both those songs there, but you know what I'm saying? That's that old Tupac. You know what I'm saying? That old Tupac. So what's good, y'all? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's here. You know what I mean? We got about 14,000 people in the chat. You know what I mean? For all the 14,000 people that are here, shout out to Tracy. You know what I'm saying? For the 14,000 people that are in the chat, you know what I'm saying? Sit back, relax, chill. You know what I mean? You know, the chat is moving so fast I can't even see all of y'all. But I know it's like early in the morning, so you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But yeah, I decided to come live and just chit chat with y'all. You know what I mean? What I was bored, wasn't nothing to do, woke back up, and I said, let me go ahead and get some watch hours in and you know, do my big one, as Lemon said, on the backup. So shout out to everybody that's here. Make sure you hit the like button. You know, if you're feeling rich as hell, you don't feel like hitting that like button, you're like, fuck the like button. You know what I'm saying? That Cash App, you know what I'm saying, is readily available. All right. So yeah, I just want to come live, and I haven't done a video formally on YUSUF. And I decided not to do it and feature it on the main channel. I mean, what's the point? Everybody has talked about it. You know what I'm saying? I saw Conscious TV did a video on it. You know, Brianna and a lot of few other people have done those videos about YUSUF. You know, the thing about it though, you know, YUSUF, when I first came in contact with him, I don't know how long ago it was, but I first came in contact with YUSUF. This is around the time when I think it was StreamYard or Google Chat, or it was some kind of like little apparatus where, you know what I'm saying, the streamer could live stream. I don't know if this was like a precursor before StreamYard, but I do remember a long time ago it was me and him was probably like one of the first two people to hit the panel at Nick at Night. So I've known of him, you know what I'm saying? I don't know him, but I've known of him for a long time. And he would call in and we would talk about all kinds of, you know, things that would be going on in the news. You know what I'm saying? From a black perspective, and YUSUF was strong about his black and gay perspective or bisexual perspective or whatever it was. And his, you know, unorthodox beliefs in whatever he believed in. A lot of people saying that there was no signs there, and I'm going to be, you know, I've heard that people said there was no signs. There were some signs. You know, there were a lot of signs. Like for one, he was, and you know, I'm gonna be real, and it's gonna be very controversial. The mindset of a homosexual, especially like a Southern homosexual man, you know what I'm saying, especially those that come from like biblical backgrounds and households where there's the Bible and the Judeo-Christian belief system that, you know, is very prevalent in a lot of homes, you know what I'm saying, whether it is done out of hypocrisy or is done authentically, and, you know, it's prevalent, right? And being labeled what you are. But sometimes when these people come out, they look at that Bible, and that Bible has some very harsh things to say, Old and New Testament, about, you know what I'm saying, homosexuality, the lifestyle, and things like that. So some homosexuals do develop, you know what I'm saying, a mindset of adopting alternative religions. And in the conscious community, there's a lot of pansexuality, you know what I mean? Alternative sexual lifestyles, as y'all seen with Nature Boy and things like that. With the Hebrew Israelites, there's polygamy, you know what I'm saying, where a man can have more than one wife. And so there is like a alternative view, you know what I'm saying, of religion or relationships and all of that some people feel that they have to adopt because the Bible itself condemns the homosexual lifestyle. All right. And I'm not over here standing on my high horse as a straight man trying to beat people down, but we just could do a deep dive, you know what I'm saying, at like 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and just talk about what other people are not talking about and what I feel like the homosexuals don't want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Because the homosexual lifestyle itself is a condemnation to hell, you know what I'm saying, for a lot of people that believe in the Bible. You know, there's grace in the New Testament, and but even in the New Testament there are some quotes in there about put them to death and things like that. So some people, they hold on to it. You know what I mean? You have a lot of church, you go to some churches, all you're gonna see is the deacons, the ministry of music. You know what I'm saying? Especially, and most black churches, the minister of music is gay. You know what I mean? When I was a kid, our minister of music was named Mr. Boynton, and he died of HIV when HIV first came out, like in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, my last remembrance of him, he was very sick looking, and he was streaming, praising God, and that was our last time ever seeing Mr. Boynton in church around that time. You know what I'm saying? And so YUSUF is one of those who actually rebelled against, I guess, with the light. He talked about that he was into a different form of religion that actually tied more into the dark side, almost pseudo devil worshiper. You know what I'm saying? I'm being real. You know, he said that he praised the god he was Saturn, the god Saturn. And for those that understand Greek mythology, that these gods are related and intertwined. One god could be a father to another god. And I used to know it very, very well, but Saturn is closely tied to Pan. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you even get the term pansexuality. Pan also ties into fairy magic, believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? Actually, fairy magic, right? The Lord of the Fades. You know what I'm saying? That's why sometimes you'll see the fairy people that be out in the woods and stuff like that. And people that believe in all the like type of alternative Wiccan witchcraft type of religions, they go and they take drugs. You know, I think one of them's called ashwagandha or something like that. Not ashwagandha, but it's called ayahuasca. Matter of fact, Nature Boy used to talk about ayahuasca. You know what I'm saying? They take ayahuasca. Sometimes they would take LSD and they go into the woods and they're swear that they can meet the god Pan, you know what I mean, for enlightenment and things like that. And so, you know, it's tied to a lot of dark type of things. You know what I'm saying? So first, it started off like almost as white magic or whatever, but we're not really here to talk about the magic system itself. You know what I mean? I was in seminary school. We studied world religions, and I also I was in the conscious community. I have friends, you know what I'm saying, female friends that were into some spaced out type of mindsets and beliefs and things as well. And so I've heard their arguments on their belief systems. So, you know, this is how I know. And plus I research, history, all that kind of stuff. So me as a very educated person in the field of, world religions and things like that, I knew that it was kind of a dark thing. But it didn't, it's like speaking loud where only a few people can hear. You know what I'm saying? It's like a dog whistle. Only the dogs can hear it. You know what I'm saying? With good hearing. And I was side-eyeing him years ago. You know what I'm saying? But I really didn't have a real reason to hate him. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't. When he saw me over here in the beef section, he saw, I know Octavius. He goes back to Nick at Night, blah, blah, blah. He would say the same thing I said, you know what I mean? And truthfully, you know what I'm saying, he really is from over there, you know what I'm saying, in the entertainment sector, T sector, or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? But back then, it really didn't have a sector name. You know, that's how long ago that shit was. So whatever Nick at Night was, that's what he is. And he been going over to Nick at Night for a long time. So I did hear a few people make comment, and it was talking about the fact that YUSUF was for the women and children and things like that. You know what I'm saying? He was adamant about it. And it does follow that type of pattern. You know, because like for me, I don't care about working around kids, and I don't condemn nobody that does. But you never see me getting on here. Yeah, I got to protect the children. No, there are niggas on here that have said have done real shit, criminal acts towards children, broken federal laws, and I would point that shit out. But by no means, I'm not here to save the women and children, and I'm here to protect everybody and be, you know, Mr. Captain, save everybody and all the women and all that shit. Not at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna fraud y'all like that, you know. But that's the kind of thing that YUSUF was on, and you know, you see that he even got with, and I'm gonna speak on this shit with Uppity because Uppity has some very ugly things to say about me. Uppity is that type, you know, that will. Uppity is a door watcher, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Uppity is a door watcher because this man basically he, the way that they caught him, they already know that he did what he did. You know what I'm saying? Unless there's some constitutional rights broken or there was entrapment. His only argument in this case would be entrapment, right? Where his lawyer would have to go through the evidence, and you know, it was basically, you know, he was misled or something like that. But most likely it was a setup where he was talking to some child, got in contact with some child some kind of way. And my thing is, I'm hearing about all these different apps and shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't, like, my thing is, I don't even know about those apps. I never been on Plenty and Fish, none of that shit. So my thing is, I don't even know how these people meet these kids. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? I really don't know how they meet these kids. You know what I mean? I am puzzled just like anybody else that is just doing their own thing. But, you know, some kind of way he knew how to meet up with these children. You know what I'm saying? Pick one of them out of the crowd and begin to talk to them. Probably making them promises and shit about the things that they was going to do. Probably some cash apps and shit and probably came through. You know what I'm saying? You know, that type of shit. You know, it could be almost anything. You know what I'm saying? That could have lured that child out and to come outside. You know what I'm saying? Come see them. You know what I'm saying? Come see him. He was probably willing to throw away anything. Mind you, this man went as far as to like be as bold to get an underage child to come out their mama and daddy house, you know, to sneak somewhere to come where they can meet up and he can do some ungodly things to that child. Or I'm gonna just say it, that little boy, you know, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's crazy that is what people are doing out here. But I've heard stories of that type of thing happening where there's gay men, you know what I'm saying, have told their story about how they got turned out. It was by an older man, things like that. Or, you know what I mean, they were dating older men. They felt some kind of way and they call themselves dating an older man at 14 years old, some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? The older dude was taking them places. Or like one time I heard a story about a guy say he got turned out by his track coach. You know what I'm saying? The coaches. And it was on Facebook many, many years ago where a mother walked in the door and caught the coach, the baseball coach, got her son bent over, and he doing his thing on the little boy from the back. And she saw that, went in the kitchen and got a meat cleaver and like completely chopped up his whole fucking back. You know what I'm saying? And it was like all on social media on Facebook. This had to be like 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So these people, they find a way to get at your kid. They find a way to get at your baby, all that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that type of shit, it's like these motherfuckers are slick with it. You know what I mean? And there is a form of arrogance that begins to develop with these people, because when it comes to YUSUF, I really believe that that is not his first time. You know what I mean? It was the time that he got caught. Right? Because this shit is very, very fucking prevalent. And I'm not trying to paint all gay men with a broad brush and just say that all gay men are out here doing that type of shit. You know what I mean? But there is a psychological profile, you know what I'm saying, where what I'm saying is that a lot of them, you know, this is an American Judo-Christian type of thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking from a very scientific point of view, where you know, these men feel that they're damned to hell already. And, you know what I mean, whatever they do from that point forward, you know what I'm saying, their sins and things like that. You know, a person that basically got nothing to lose. This is how a lot of them feel. They adopt these alternative religions. They get into black magic and shit like that. And he's that type that did all of the things that I'm talking about. So of course, there are like people that are not falling within that, you know what I'm saying? But these stories about how these boys are getting turned out and dating these older men in the gay lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? It's echoed 1,000 times over. You know what I'm saying? And it's because of the fact that, you know what I mean? Like me, like I had one, if you had never taken anybody's life, I never killed anybody, right? I never murdered anybody. You know what I'm saying? Never killed anybody, never murdered nobody. But I had a dream a couple of times where I killed somebody, right? If you ever had that dream where you kill somebody, you feel this amazing guilt about you actually took somebody's life and they'll never be up and walking. You know what I'm saying? They'll be there. You know what I'm saying? You took a life. Now you're thinking about, will I be condemned to hell? All kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? This is the thing that just even the imagination in your dream, the guilt that you could feel in your dream for taking a life. Now, taking innocence from a child and corrupting them, you know what I'm saying? That's a bold move. But what if you're that type of person that have a mindset where you don't believe in no God, you don't believe in no heaven, and shit, you believe in the goddamn devil? You know what I mean? You on some weird ass wild shit. You know what I'm saying? So we just can't skip over the fact that this nigga was believing in just some alternative weirdo ass. And y'all could go back some of my recordings a long time. I spoke of YUSUF. I said, yeah, I knew of YUSUF. I don't know when I spoke of it, but I said I remember him. He used to go by Saturn. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what panel it was. I said, yeah, he used to go by Saturn. You know what I mean? Saturn is the devil, for y'all that don't know, in Greek mythology. Saturn is the devil. It's another word. It's like, that's a Latin word. You know what I'm saying? The Latins use Diablo, but if you don't understand Greek mythology, you know what I'm saying? Even in ancient Egypt, Set, you know what I'm saying? A Set, and then what it was in Set. Saturn also, I don't know if Saturn is tied to the god of death in Greek mythology, but Greek mythology and Roman mythology are basically one and the same. And even ancient Egypt mythology ties into Greek mythology. So Set, Saturn, Satan, you know what I'm saying? They're all related. That archetype is like of the underworld, darkness, the devil, you know what I'm saying? Bad luck, all that kind of just evil and destruction. You feel what I'm saying? So this man already don't give a fuck about no God. He don't give a fuck about no soul or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? So him going out there just taking a little young boy's butt, fucking him up, got that little boy mind fucked up for the rest of his life. Don't know if he a girl, boy, don't know what, you know what I mean? And my thing is like, I'm keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? Fuck what people, fuck all that political correct shit. But if this little boy getting violated, now he got all these emotions and shit that he didn't have prior to the act of some grown motherfucker trying to get off. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that YUSUF really didn't have no conscience about himself because he already felt like he was damned and he was already feeling like he tied to the devil and all that shit from the first place. If anybody know him, go back and look. He used to go by the name Saturn. That was his name on Nick at Night. You know what I'm saying? That was his name, his YouTube name, way back. You know what I mean? And I don't lie about shit. Y'all already know my shit be legit. Especially when I'm doing these live streams. So yeah, he's on some weirdo shit. And you know, the thing about it is just to think about even the fact that you can go out there and do some shit like that. That's some bold shit. It's even in the Bible say he that rapeth a woman is as if he that have murdered her. You get what I'm saying? So doing that shit to a child is almost because you're destroying their free will about these emotions and shit. They don't know what the fuck they about to get into. They don't know what they about to engage in. You know what I'm saying? Even if the act feels good, you know what I'm saying? Some poison is sweet, that it kill the hell out of you. It will take you out of here. Poison could be, some poisons taste good, is sweet, but some of the things that feel good, like drugs, you know, heroin, cocaine, is unhealthy. It's gonna make you feel good. It's gonna make the body feel good if you take it in, but it's gonna destroy you in the process. And the same thing with these acts of sex for an underage child. It destroys the psyche of that child. And now that this child has their mind open to a different view of things and have these new urges that wasn't present, you know what I'm saying? Of course, me as a straight man, I don't know anything about any backdoor action. I don't know how the shit feel. And ignorance is bliss. That ain't something that I even like think about. But for men that have been violated or men that have willingly participated in anal sex with another man, you know what I'm saying, getting bent over or whatever, these men now have urges for the rest of their life. They have the knowledge of what it is to tap into that energy. Me, I'm ignorant. And I'm going to remain ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Just like with me, I don't do drugs. I don't even drink. I don't want none of that shit in my system that's going to deter me and corrupt me in any form or fashion from the mind God gave me. You know what I'm saying? On some now, that's just how I've been like that since a child. Didn't want to smoke no weed, want to do no drink, none of that shit. You know what I mean? And this is the type of understanding, like, I had to tell that to my nephew, my son, all that shit is about, like, once you open certain doors, you know what I mean, you can't close that shit. And that's the thing about adults touching on kids, getting with underage children and shit. It's because once you don't introduce this child to this sensation, you know what I mean, now they're thinking about how to replicate that sensation at a younger age. You know what I'm saying? And now they have a mindset of something, you know, it's different if a man's 25 years old or 20 something years old and they decide to do what they want to do with whoever they want to do with it. They're an adult. You can't deter them. But to go into somebody's home, you know what I'm saying, from a spiritual perspective as an adult, for your own selfish reasons, to just have an animal reaction like coming or getting your nut basically. You know what I'm saying? It's like people really don't understand the gravity of what the fuck it is, how selfish and evil and demonic. Like I said, the scripture says in the Bible, he that rapeth a woman or rapeth of somebody as it is as if they have killed that person. Okay? You know what I mean? These people, like having younger people in my family, younger kids in my family. And I see them, I see the stars in their eyes. I see how bright they are, how it's Christmas time and you know what I'm saying? Some of the little kids are like, so giddy and, we play games with them we talk to Santa and Santa said, you better, do your chores, eat your food or whatever they, you know what I'm saying? And how they are like so happy that it's Christmas time. They telling what they want for Christmas and stuff and all that kind of shit. You know what I mean? I made a AI picture for one of the little kids in my immediate family. And, then I said it's from me and Santa. You feel what I'm saying? And how happy they are, you know what I'm saying? And how trusting they are. And it's the thing about it is the fact that I trust, how beautiful that trust is that these kids have for us as adults, and they feel like they feel like we love them. And we, you know what I'm saying? They love us, and they are there to learn from us, and you know what I mean. And then you look at them and just like you pray to God at night, like God protect them. You know what I'm saying? For motherfuckers like YUSUF. You feel what I'm saying? That's fucked up. That's some fucked up shit. You know what I'm saying? God protect them from a motherfucker like YUSUF, dog. You feel me? Because that nigga didn't give a fuck. He just wanted to get a nut off some child and they caught his ass. And I get the sad part about it, this motherfucker really probably was out here thinking that, he probably did this shit to a few boys, girls, whatever the fuck, and have a dumb motherfuckers like uppity. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like coming out here, it's your nigga, it was your time to shine, even if you was a hypocritical bitch. It was your motherfucking time to shine just to say, like, I rebuke that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's some fucked up shit. My heart is broke. My heart is heavy that my friend would be doing some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And no one would hate you for loving your friend that deceived you, that made you feel like, but now it seems it's like you mad that the fact that this nigga is caught. And you mad at me because I presented I ain't even want the nigga to break the story and she knew it. You feel what I'm saying? But she started talking shit to me. And the thing about it is seeing that we saw how her household is and the shit all over the floor, the neglect, piss in the toilet with an autistic child in the home. And that the fact that baby got to rely, you know what I'm saying? And it's like upsetting. And I don't want to like, cause I'm about to go there and just like really just talk about it. It's like, man, no, let's just go there. That baby got to rely on a piece of shit like her to feed it. You feed her. You know what I'm saying? And in the meantime, your friend that got caught, you know what I'm saying, trying to entice a fucking child to have sex with the child. And you lash out at everybody out here on the internet and shit. You know what I'm saying? And instead of like taking accountability and saying, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Taking accountability and being more wise about it and shit. But this is the type of shit that some of these women are door watching motherfuckers and they're participators as well. and the self-esteem. And I said it a long time ago, most of you niggas in these sectors, the black and beef sector, are depressed as fuck. Oh, I'm trolling. No, you're like, ghetto nigga, you're depressed. You're having an identity crisis. Trolling is like trolling on the internet is like not even, it's supposed to be like fun or whatever, just playing around in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Like me trolling on like, oh, Lemon, you know, shock him, you know, he been in the gym, he working out hard, you know what I'm saying? Ready for that? You know, that's like lightweight. No, but you niggas got mental disabilities. You niggas are mental. You niggas are suffering from anxiety. You niggas are on fucking medication and shit. And you know what I'm saying? And even in this environment and shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad, you know what I'm saying? I'm the stone that the builders rejected. I'm glad that I am the stone that the builders rejected in all these spaces. But at the end of the day, the most independent nigga, you know what I'm saying? Doing it by myself majority of the time, you know what I'm saying? And I'm happy for it, because at the same time, like, being connected to these wicked motherfuckers, bro, and a nigga like YUSUF. I know him longer than all y'all know him. I knew of him. I knew of him for a long time. You know what I'm saying? I bumped into him in different sectors and shit, spoken high, you know what I'm saying? I had no problem with people being in their lifestyle or whatever the fuck, but I did know. But did you ever notice the fact that I know him longer than all of y'all? And I do mean all of y'all. But did you ever see Octavius try to get close to that nigga? No, because he is of his father, the devil. Only a fucking devil will go out there and try to do the shit that he did. And when I told you niggas that he was into some weird shit, I told you niggas he called himself Saturn and shit, y'all love him. You know what I'm saying? Y'all love that nigga. Now he ain't beef sector and all that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? And there's gonna be more niggas going down for some weird shit. Like I did a live, and I showed everybody. You know what I'm saying? Cause listen, ain't nobody getting numbers like that no more. You know what I mean? This is not 2022. You know what I mean? Some of y'all top people around here are not getting Octavius numbers. You know what I'm saying? Because the live that I did 3.3 thousand solo dolo 1 hour. You know what I'm saying? It's similar to some sort of y'all top motherfuckers in these sectors. So you saw in that fucking video where I talked about a certain motherfucker, you know what I'm saying, was running around here. The reason why they keep losing their fucking channel is because they posted what the federal government called child pornography by sexually exploiting a child. And it was reported to the National Center of Missing Exploited Children. But did that shit come up? No, it didn't. There was really no real strong response to the shit, and no one really broke it down how much of a fucking devil that nigga was. I knew something was wrong with his ass from the start 10 years ago. He didn't give me a reason to hate him, and I didn't hate him, but I knew something was wrong with his ass. And now we here. When I saw that shit, I was not surprised. I was not surprised. And so, you know, I said I'm gonna go live when I'm relaxed and I talk about it, you know what I'm saying? We'll talk about it and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? And just put it out there, you know what I'm saying? And I'll just let my thoughts flow freely about the situation. You know what I mean? But in this arena, what do they celebrate? Low impulse control. And they celebrate those who have low impulse control. When they talk about serial killers, when they talk about pedophiles, when they talk about, see, I could talk about that stuff and it's not going to give you a struck channel or nothing like that. It's nothing wrong with talking about these type of things. I used all the keywords, you know what I'm saying, that y'all talk about. But and murderers, they all have what's called in psychology and criminal psychology, they talk about low impulse control. In these spaces, the type of tactics that these people use, what the extreme measures of things, you know what I'm saying? And how the extreme measures that they go through, you know what I'm saying? How I talk about impulse control, like my whole thing is like, I don't want to do nothing, you know, I don't want to have me as a person, just like we could reference back to the video, not video, we reference back to the dream I'm talking about, you know, when you ever had that dream where you actually killed somebody or you stole something from somebody, not a police coming or something like that, or you going to jail for doing something and you feel this guilt come over you or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's similar to that, but when you have low impulse control, and that mean that man with that look, like with YUSUF being in the homosexual lifestyle, and let's be fucking real. If this nigga didn't give a fuck about this nigga risking it all to go sleep with some boy, you think that motherfucker gave a fuck about a condom? You think he gave a fuck about condoms in his life like that? No, he didn't. So this man could have been bringing AIDS to that little boy or that little girl. And all that love bombing he did on a let's be real. Uppity is very unattractive. And I tried being nice to her. But that love bombing and darling love, this, that, and the third, and all that shit, this nigga probably just staring at that baby the whole fucking time. He just want to impart them demons on his motherfucking ass, his depression, his recklessness, his lack of self-care, all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? He ain't give a fuck. He just found a low self-esteem motherfucker that he was grooming, you know, the mother, just to try to slip his way in. You know what I'm saying? Well, he might come to New York, but slip his way in, and he gonna be the one that's gonna be the mentor of the child and shit like that. That can't talk. See, these niggas, no one breaking that shit down to y'all because these motherfuckers are on there. Ain't it? Like, motherfuckers on my criminal records. So see, Octavius ain't got shit on him. You know what I mean? Now, at the end of the day, I was watching Lemon, and a troll dropped down and asked Lady Dimples a question. Lady Dimples, do you take IDs when you go out there and suck random dicks? Because I had like Lady Dimples talking about some little read that was supposed to be put on me or something like that. You know what I'm saying? When Kiki was, you know, drinking and whatever that one time. And, you know, she was crashing out that one time. She said some crazy shit. But are you up there taking IDs and shit? And when you go out there and just sucking random dicks, because it seems like it's the same motherfucking spirit. It's the same shit. You don't give a fuck who on the other side of that goddamn hole, motherfucker, who in the dark. You don't give a fuck what if they're 17, 16 motherfucking years old, you motherfucker. You don't give a fuck. You just want to get somebody penis in your mouth or in your anus. You don't give a fuck. and to be calling yourself what you want to call yourself, you know what I'm saying? And looking the way that you do, you're not even on. Don't you ain't even went and got no surgeries, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? And you actually probably have more muscle mass on your 6'7" frame than I do. So looking back in that mirror and seeing that hideous reflection coming back to you, seeing what you are, it gotta give depression. It have to give anxiety. It has to give this pain of like me go out and dox every fucking body and give everybody problems and hell and shit. Because when you look in the mirror, you don't see nothing back that you find desirable, and you don't give a fuck about your health. You don't give a fuck about your health. You don't give a fuck about who you out there sucking when you go into glory holes and shit like that from your own fucking admission. Whether they're underage or overage or whatever, or if they got syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, you know what I'm saying? HIV, herpes, or whatever. And so you're just a cesspool of demons. Getting in random, got in my inbox bed for a diggling picture. Shit, if you heard somebody if a nigga had, if you knew who my son was, you probably try to get in his motherfucking inbox, you fucking freak. Don't seem like you got no impulse control, because that's lack of fucking control. What you're not gonna do is see Octavius getting into any of these motherfuckers' inbox on the internet begging for nudes or begging for pussy pictures or whatever the fuck. Or just doing random shit on their online to any fucking Jane that come around this motherfucker. Did you ever hear me do a read talking about I'll fuck this bitch and I'll stick my dick in daughter? Have you ever heard Octavius get out here and when I'm at my angriest? I ain't never said no rapey shit about damn motherfucker female on here. But there's a lot of niggas who have. No, the signs are there. Y'all just don't want to see them. And this is Rebel Radio. You know what I'm saying? You are the resistance. Hit that like button. Let's see where we at with some things. What's going on? Dia Babe. What's going on? Moxie, what's going on? What's going on, Beachy? Yeah. We got 2,400 people in the building. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? 2,400 in the chat. Or is that 24 million? You know what I'm saying? We got 12. We doing Shannon Sharp type. Yeah, but I mean, that's what it is, man. People have these, they have low impulse control. Like, it all ties to low impulse control. Watch a nigga with low impulse control. Like, they try to say that, oh, we can never tell who the pedophile is or who is out here doing this crazy shit. That ain't true. There was a guy, and I think he got sentenced to death. You know what I'm saying? Here in the state of Florida. He was laid up in the house. His mom was a lesbian. His mom was a lesbian stud. He got out of jail. I think he's like 26 years old when this happened. This is probably around about 7 years ago, I think. Close to 7 or 6 years ago. I know it had to be, it had to be around 2017, I think, or 16 when this happened. But here in South Florida, and I think he got convicted to death. You know what I'm saying? What happened was he get out of jail and he's staying with his mom, which is, he's 26. His mom is in a lesbian relationship with a woman, and the woman has like a mixed race daughter. And he started doing things with the 11-year-old mixed race daughter of, you know, of his mom's girlfriend's daughter. And the girl got tired of getting raped by him. And I think she went to jail, and the nigga killed her. And I think some kind of way she ran out in the street and he killed her in the middle of the street. It was something wild. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't want her to start talking and tell on him. Just a fucking loser, bum nigga. You know what I'm saying? Drug addict. You know what I mean? The household was all fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And this little girl is up here, you know what I'm saying, in a fucked up situation. The mom, you know what I'm saying, in a lesbian relationship with the stud. You know what I'm saying? And it was just sad. And the poor girl body laid in the middle of the street. And they looked at the story. All the signs of child molestation was there. The little girl, they had to do all kind of psychotherapy on the kids at her school. You know, she was really popular in her school. Shit like that. And this dude, he was just a devil. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like that type of shit. And I just want y'all to understand the selfishness about the things that these adults do to these kids. You know what I mean? And also the availability of sex in this modern time, 2025. Like in 2025, sex is not a hard thing to get. It's especially for an adult. You don't have to be attractive. You know what I mean? Like, one thing about it, meeting, you know what I'm saying? Like there are nymphos and shit. And like every time, you know what I'm saying? There's women, and there's women out there, they just they fine as fuck. You know what I'm saying? For us men. You know what I'm saying? They look good as hell. And they're they done had sex with all the different muscle niggas and the ballers and shit like that. But they might want to experience being with a fat short nigga. Or a fat nigga. A bald and old nigga. You know what I'm saying? Chick said I stopped. I wanted something different after a while, you know. Being with just an average looking guy, you know, I want to be with different guys. You know what I'm saying? There's women out there that's giving us some coochie, man. You know what I'm saying? And in the gay community, forget about it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even in the lifestyle. I'm pretty sure it's going down. They got all kind of apps and all kinds of shit just to hook up, just to do what it do. And they're men. You know what I'm saying? That's doing it. So YUSUF had no excuse for what he was doing. I guarantee YUSUF was probably trying to send cash apps, money, and all kinds of shit all the risk this nigga went through to try to get at somebody's baby. And just to be caught the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, like I said, I believe that he was running a long con on Uppity. You know what I'm saying? They say he bisexual. I believe he was running a long con on Uppity. And he was just ready, you know. Probably that's why he was love bombing her, probably calling her beautiful. He was there to protect her. You know what I'm saying? Wilding out and all that kind of shit. You know? And and for some of y'all females that I have talked to in private, y'all be having issues when y'all have too many issues online. I said, man, maybe it's time to leave the internet. You know? Like niggas talking about I'm protecting women online. Like, yeah, I had a girlfriend here online, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I raised some hell about my girlfriend online and shit like that, right? But Octavius ain't never been on some campaign to run out here and like protect all the women and pretend like I'm the captain save them of all women. I'll speak the truth when you're innocent about a situation. That's the most I can do. But when it comes down to me going out of my way to like make sure that you're on the up and up, and you know, because basically we all here voluntarily as content creators, and so some capacity we're here voluntarily. And then sometimes if you're not clicking in a certain space, it's just like I'll move around. There are some spaces I can't even drop down in the chat, and I can't speak to. I have to speak to 100 people before I even can like chill. You know what I'm saying? I don't bitch about it. You know what I'm saying? Some spaces I go in there, I speak to 3 people and be 500-600 people in the chat. Nobody give a fuck that I'm there. You know what I mean? So the illusion of getting protected here on the internet is just that. It's an illusion. No one can protect you. No one can stop you from getting doxxed. You know what I'm saying? No one's that bad. You know what I'm saying? Just like me. Octavius can take a channel. Yeah, I can take a channel, but I can't stop a nigga from taking yours as well. I can't stop. You know what I'm saying? I can't stop a nigga. I can prevent certain things from happening, like counterclaims and shit like that. But I can't stop a nigga from actually doing some strike shit, some advanced striking shit on your channel. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're guilty of doing some shit you ain't supposed to do. You know? No one can really be protected on here. So, like, if you're failing out here, you know, that's just what it is. Now, there could be exchange of information. I've done that. Like I actually have done that a few times this year with people. You know what I'm saying? Exchange of information, and I could advocate. You know what I mean? I could advocate and things like that, but protection, no. But yeah, the thing about it, that's how people like YUSUF come in. The protection thing, you know what I'm saying, which people have been speaking about in the last 48 hours about the protection. They're here to save all the women and children and all that kind of shit. Hell, there's some up in here to save the gay niggas too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of these niggas that call themselves straight are out here. They want a man to protect them as well. You know what I'm saying? They're looking for a man to protect them. Real talk. You know, I ain't gonna call no names right now, but yeah, that's just what it is with that though. So, you know, I mean, the whole YUSUF thing, we could be here all day and just talk about how horrible it is, but it is very, very horrible. And I want to just make y'all more centered in what it is. You know what I mean? And also, let's talk about temptation before I go. One of the reasons I don't do drugs or drink or anything, I don't want to lose my ability to discern, to think straight, or I don't want to blame myself for something, especially when I had put on the blinders. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to I don't want to get drunk. I don't want to get high. And I'm not, it's no shade against people do what they do. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to get drunk or high or be under the influence and I say or do something that can drastically change my life. I wake up out of my drunkenness and find out like, damn, I'm in jail. You know what I'm saying? I done murked somebody. I done beat somebody to death or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Or anything. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to have that shit on my conscience that I basically blinded myself and just like allow myself to run wild like a fucking animal and find myself in some bullshit. I used to listen to King Noble and a few conscious people, Blog Talk Radio a long time ago, going back to like 2009, 2008, you know what I'm saying? And they used to talk about, King Noble did a stream called Kill the Nigga in You Daily. You know what I'm saying? And what that mean is when we say the nigga in the conscious terms, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about the slave mind, the mind in us that is depressed, that has the low self-esteem, that has all of the bad things within us, the animal, the dark nature in us. You know what I'm saying? We have to learn to master that. And the only way that you can really master that is to first start off with abstinence. You know what I'm saying? Abstaining from certain things. You know what I mean? Like the thing about it, when you have a thought can go through your head that's fucked up. We all have some fucked up thoughts go through our head. You know what I'm saying? But if the thing about thoughts, when you grab a thought out of your mind that comes through your head, and you grab it and you hold on to it and you keep thinking and thinking and thinking about it, you know what's going to happen? It's going to crystallize and it's going to become an action. So when you think about these type of things, you allow something wild and wicked to come through your mind. And taking drugs, alcohol, and other substances and things like that, even over-sexing, you know what I'm saying? These are the type of things these vices are the type of things that will drop your inhibitions and also cut back on your impulse control. Okay? It's going to cut back on your impulse control. So the thing about it, these wicked thoughts, you know what I'm saying, for you Christians out there, say Jesus, you know what I'm saying, embodied every sin known to man when he was nailed to the cross. He was tempted by every sin known to man. You know what I'm saying? The body itself, you know what I'm saying, if we want to speak from a religious perspective, and I do sometimes, but the body itself it has an Adamic nature, as they could talk about, you know what I'm saying, in as they talk about in the Baptist Christian belief or whatever, the Adamic nature, meaning that it has desires to sin, it has desires to do things that goes against the mind and the spirit. You know what I'm saying? But in the conscious sense, they'll say, kill the nigga in you daily. That's one sense of it. But in the Christian sense, you know what I'm saying, it'll say mortify your members, you know what I'm saying, to Christ. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that what your body would want to do and have these urges that your body can produce and have, you know what I'm saying, you must subjugate that to your mind and your spirit so you don't become a wild animal, a demon like YUSUF. That is the example of when you have let go and just let Satan, you know what I'm saying? When you just let go and let Satan, and you just next thing you know, you're just a deviant, you're a wicked demon, you know what I'm saying? Probably smiling in people's face, you know what I'm saying? Stealing money from old ladies, all kinds of shit, you know what I'm saying? Having zero conscience about anything that pleases the body and pleases them. Selfishness. Satanism is a religion of selfishness. If you actually study what it is, it's not all about worshiping the devil. It's about worshiping yourself as God, seeking your own pleasure at all costs, and having zero empathy for anybody. That is the cusp of Satanism. That's what Satanism is. And Satanists will tell you that you don't have to be a Satanist, practicing Satanist, to be a Satanist. All you have to do is worship yourself and seek your own self-fulfilling desires. And what YUSUF was doing was one of the ultimate acts of Satanism, was seeking his desires at the cost of a child's innocence. And he should be condemned. And then we have to look at these people that have low impulse control that I mean, I'm gonna let y'all do the math. I call a few names tonight, but I'm not gonna just, call out people names because whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure you heard me call niggas out before. You know what I'm saying? But we just going in depth with some things because some people, they don't want to talk about these certain things. They don't want to talk about, let me see what's going on. They don't want to talk about this type of shit because they don't have the position to be in a position to talk about this type of stuff on this nature. Let me see. Yeah. Say who in here looking for a savior on the internet? Man, you'd be amazed. I could write a whole book about that. You just gave me an idea for a book. There's a lot of cults. That's a whole nother thing about cults, though. I'll probably talk about it another time. But there's a lot of internet cults on here. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So I'm just trying to tell y'all is that, and I know a lot of people they feeling uneasy about this. Like, I am here to make it uneasy for you. I'm not here to make it good for you. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Everybody been easy. That's the whole thing about it. You don't want it. You don't want the truth in the sense of that the truth is hurting. The truth is telling you that, yes, you know what I'm saying? The problem is that, yeah, it's your form of Satanism, your form of I want it easy. I want to just have things that's going to scratch my itching ears, and I want to just feel good. No, some of these things just need to be said. You know what I'm saying? Some of these things need to be said. And then some people are running and say, Octavius over there saying that all gay people are worshiping the devil and all kinds of shit. And he was saying this and that. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, and it's just rounded up so it's on recording. What I was saying is that in black, especially in the black community and white community, you know what I'm saying, where there is a dominance of Judeo-Christian belief systems and the Bible is in the Old Testament condemns men who do have sex with men, you know what I'm saying, condemns them to death. And in the New Testament, it does as well. So some people read that and what they do, they rebel against the word of what they believe the word of God. And it also takes them down alternative religions and things like that they don't know about, truthfully. a lot of them not even that educated about these different religions, don't know the cusps of it, don't know the ins and outs of it, you know what I'm saying? And they find themselves doing, you know what I'm saying, joining different other religions. You know, some of them become Buddhists. Um, you know, they take on ancient religions, African religions, things like that. And like I said, in the conscious community, as y'all saw with Nature Boy, that is not uncommon for a lot of these people. You know, a lot of the women I had met, they were sexually free that were in the conscious community, a lot of them. Um, and it was, you know, I slowly start to understand that a lot of guys in the conscious community, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's different factions of the conscious community, you know what I'm saying? But like those who believe in alternative religions, like for example, like Shakim was into, you know, like, I don't know if you believe in that, but that ancient meta and all that kind of stuff, a lot of the guys that's into that are gay or bisexual. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys seek out these alternative religions because of the fact that, you know what I mean, they are looking for, you know, their lifestyle in that Bible that they live, and the Bible condemns their lifestyle. And they feel like they're fixed in their ways as far as what they are attracted to, what they want, things like that. And so they seek out these other religions or older religions that don't have these, don't have the same limitations in them. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm saying, YUSUF is one of those guys who was gay and started going off into something else. And I'm only talking from a narrator perspective. I'm not judging nobody. I'm just telling you about some of the people that what they do. And, you know, well, I'm not here to preach to y'all about God and the word of God. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it, we kind of like doing some conscious stuff tonight. But the thing about it, though, because they were born Christian, and check this out, they never leave Christianity. They never do. Even if they go to another religion, they're always trying to tell you how that their new belief system is better than Christianity. You know what I'm saying? They're always trying to, in a state of convincing themselves that what they believe in is what they want to believe, and it's also a form of self-serving. Their religion serves them instead of the religion itself being what it is or what their forefathers, ancestors believed, or whatever in the United States, as far as we know. So that's just what it is. So it's still a guilt about like leaving that, and then also it sometimes that guilt can push you more into the dark nature of other religions, where that religion may not even be a dark religion, but you know, it takes you into a darker side, a more self-serving side, and it is what you make it out to be. And that's what YUSUF had. YUSUF is that case study of what I'm talking about. But all in all, regardless of all that, the mindset and everything, this man did what he did. He's a nasty person. And like I said, a lot of signs of a lot of people that frequent in these spaces have these signs. I won't be surprised there'll be some new people come out with some issues and have some issues with the government or whatever, you know what I'm saying, whenever they have it. Because a lot of people, they don't have impulse control. Like some people can't even go a week without calling my name or Kiki's name. And they ain't got to be doing no videos on them or nothing like that, or doxing one of us. They do it because why? They have no impulse control. They have no impulse control. Because you could be a devil. You could have all kind of shit come through your mind. And you could say, nah, I ain't trying to go to jail. People gonna catch me. Fuck that. You can have shit go on in your head that's wilder than the motherfucker, but you checking that shit like, nah, people ain't finna have me fucked up. You know what I mean? How many times we have all thought about taking somebody out? You know what I'm saying? We like at some point, a lot of us got mad, said we want to beat somebody up. We wanted to, some of you even talking about we want to murder somebody and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But even though you do that they got laws to put your ass away for fucking life. You know what I mean? You want to find a child attractive and shit, and you want to go and put your hands on them or do some things, they're going to put your ass away for life. You know what I'm saying? They're going to put your ass away for fucking life. Nigga tired of being poor. Shit, I'm going to go out there and sell me some drugs. Matter of fact, I'm going to sell some motherfucking fentanyl or some shit like that. What's going to happen? They're going to put your ass away for life. Damn that life. But if you ain't got no impulse control, but this type of shit happen every day. And if you ain't got no impulse control and you can't fight the feeling of restraining yourself from doing violence to somebody or restraining yourself from performing your own selfish acts, you know what I'm saying? Your ass is going to be in jail. Your ass is going to be, or you could be lose your life in the process of trying to do some shit. Break into somebody's house. You know what I'm saying? That person probably on the other side of that door with a gun or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You breaking in their home. They're defending themselves. Now you dead because you want to break in somebody's house. But that's somebody with impulse control. Somebody that's thinking like, I can't do that shit. But this shit happen every day. This shit happens every fucking day where people are out here doing shit. Half the time they high as shit. They're depressed as fuck. They're mentally fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And that they don't cracked and they're doing dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you're a woman. You need some money. It's Christmas time. You ain't got no money. You go out there and start selling ass. Now you got a disease. Same thing with men. Somebody, there's been rumors of dudes out here prostituting, and all kinds of shit. And I ain't shading nobody. I'm just saying, there's been rumors of dudes going out there prostituting, and these females going out and prostituting and shit, needing some money. You know what I mean? And what comes with that? Shame, disease, sexual transmitted diseases. And all that shit, all the consequences of your actions, everything that you do has consequences. That's why I ain't playing with nobody fucking kids on here. Motherfuckers have actually lied and say I displayed a child on my fucking stream. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, one thing you ain't got to worry about me is touching none of y'all motherfucking kids' pictures for shit. Because Octavius ain't gonna go to jail for damn one of you motherfuckers, and I damn sure ain't gonna go to jail for your kids. You know what I'm saying? See how Octavius think? I ain't going to jail for you. Fuck. What the fuck? I'm gonna go to jail because I'm mad at the motherfucker 1,000 miles away on the internet. Got me fucked up, nigga. You are not worth it. When I heard somebody trying to make that line ass allegation and shit, it was a white woman who first started that rumor. It's like, nigga, you really think Octavius is that motherfucking stupid? You know what I'm saying? That I would want that a bitch got me out of a nigga got me out of the body to the point where I want to be, you know what I'm saying, like that weirdo from Louisiana fucking with people, kids and all that weird ass shit. and all that motherfucking shit. Hell no, you got me fucked up. Never. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It don't even come to mind. Like I said, I done drag women over here for talking shit to me. And never at any time I said, oh, I'll bend you over and I'll stick my thing in you and I'll do this and I'll make you get on your knees and do this and that and blah, 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 and do all this damn rape talk. That type of talk is talking about violation, forceful violation of someone. So niggas be talking about ain't no signs out here. Ain't no signs. It's like, listen, people gonna do what they gonna do. But the math is mathing. The math, when you start going back and start looking at certain shit and certain people, the math is mathing. The math is mathing. With YUSUF, the math was mathing. It was motherfuckers didn't want to see the math. You know what I'm saying? For their own reasons. But the math was mathing. Let's see. Hey, Google, in Greek mythology, how is the god Saturn tied to the god Pan?
On the website facebook.com, they say, we must, therefore, conclude that he was a form of Chem, the god of generation, and identical with Pan and Mercury. Pan is further identified with Saturn by the Orphic poet, who calls him the universal father and the horned Zeus or Cronus, i.e., Saturn. Chem, or Kam, whom Wilkinson identifies with the Greek god.
All right, so y'all just heard that. See how much of a scholar I am? The nigga was telling you that he was the great god Pan. And you niggas was somebody. There wasn't no sons. Pan in the Greek mythology would go around and just take the little phase and shit and have sex with them. Basically, the god of grape. The god of grape. Oh, let's discover. Hey, Google, tell me about Pan and his the god Pan and his sexual appetites.
On the website newsbible.org.uk, they say, god of fertility, this son of Hermes and a nymph was above all famous for his bestial and insatiable sexual appetite. His legendary ugliness meant that his advances were often shunned. The fear that he inspired is at the origin of the word panic.
The origin of the word panic. Like I said, bro, you know what I'm saying? When that nigga said he was the god Saturn, I'm sorry, I'm just too smart for you niggas. I already knew what the fuck he was talking about. The nigga said his name was Saturn, which is the god, which is ties to the god Pan, which is the horn god with the devil with the horns. He's telling you he's the fucking devil. YUSUF was telling y'all that he's the devil. Some crazy shit, right? How long we been live? Let me see. Oh, what's going on, the real Aaron Collins? What's good with you, bro? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, Beachy, for rocking with me. You know what I mean? We got 23 million people in the chat. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button in the meantime. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. You know what I mean? Oh, we got 25 million now. I ain't gonna lie, I actually like these type of streams, but I owe my members to talk to them. But I was like, let me just go ahead and talk to y'all and everything like that. I did wake up and I knew it was gonna, like, you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? This ain't about the numbers, it's just us coming up here and you know what I'm saying, me just letting y'all know what it is. But all in all, I think the YUSUF thing is it's out there. YUSUF is in jail. You know what I mean? I do think that, I mean, people are gonna do whatever they want to do. You know what I'm saying? As far as especially within sectors and things like that, who they want to affiliate with, who they want to collab with. But I do think it would be wise for people to like be a lot more wiser and more shrewd about who they'll let around them. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to give an excuse to like what we see as overt deviant behavior. Because there's some people on here I just don't mess with. I don't want nothing to do with. You know what I'm saying? Period. And all in all, you know, there's raggedy bitches and raggedy ass niggas that's just gonna make up some lies on you. You know what I'm saying? They lie on me. Like ZX was over there lying, talking about I P-bombed the channel. And let me show y'all something. Matter of fact, let's do that real quick. I'm gonna actually go to that video. And I got it on memberships from a long time ago. Go to the membership. Here it is, right here. I got it. All right. This is, see how much of a liar ZX is. ZX, you know, the nigga lied on me and said that I was on his channel and I got mad. And I was on his channel for 40 minutes and I was eating his ass up like Malik was years ago. You know what I'm saying? And someone got on the panel magically out of the blue. I was already there for 40 minutes. Somebody got on the fucking panel and displayed child pornography on his channel. He said like earlier this year that when he got mad at me, he said he got a copy of the shit. You know, if you got a copy of that shit, I said it then, you supposed to call the FBI and report the shit. So this is me right here reporting the motherfucking shit. So this is like 3 years ago. Let me show y'all real quick. Let's see. Yeah. See Nikki Pope there. There's a lot of people that are not around. Well, Nikki Pope be around now, but see a lot of people in that chat way back. This is 2022. This is July. See ZX. I got the files, nigga. As a matter of fact, this is your old channel where you've been deleted a long time ago that Nikki took from you right here. Is this it? Yeah. So if I flag you, I can go and get this one right here and let them know GFT Riders 3 years ago been deleted. You know what I'm saying? See that? Yeah. I said, where is your recorded phone call to missingexploitingchildren.org and the FBI? On this stream, I call the FBI everything. You hear the white lady and everything. Oh, said, you know, what relationships they got and, you know, who they might be having sex with. Don't know nothing. People bringing up stuff from like 10 months ago as if it's relevant. You know what I mean? And I guess even my ops, they're like hoping somebody take up the gauntlet to fight me. Nigga, come on with it. I don't give a fuck who you are. Come on with it, baby. Come on with it. I don't give a fuck who you are. I will eat your ass alive. And the link is at the motherfucking top of the chat, nigga. All right, I'm talking shit back there.
You know what I'm saying? She record phone calls, which is legal for you to record something like
Let me see if I got it.
Started another show right after it. It was called.
Okay, where was this at?
It was on GFT.
So let me see.
It'll be that long. But it just be the fact that when you hear these weirdos out here that want to attack an innocent black man, you know, the whole narrative is about Suge and misunderstood, lied on Suge and all that stuff like almost a year ago.
No.
We go here.
Okay, where was this at?
It was on GFTV Writers YouTube show. That this took place, I think, on a Sunday of this week.
Okay, so what was the name of the YouTube show again?
I don't know. I can't remember the name of the show, but the show that came on, he started another show right after it. It was called Sick People, and in that video, he admitted that it was child porn. I don't think I can't say it was his stuff, but he was the host.
Okay, so what was did you give me the username a little bit ago?
Yes, the username is G.
Okay.
F.T. V.
Okay, hold on just a second.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, G. F. T. V as in Victor.
Yes.
Dot
Writers. Just writers after that.
Writers as in WRITERS or writers RIDERS.
Yeah, RIDERS. Yes.
Okay. Now, do you have a link for this this video online?
She said shit. She about to say shit.
I don't have the link for the video. I have the link where it was admitted in the subsequent video after that video. He took it down off YouTube, but he said...
And what's that link?
It's called Sick People. It's on this YouTube show.
Right, but what's the URL link?
I have it. Well, let me see.
All right, as y'all see, it was reported for the new people that came in. You know, so yeah, like what like Nikki, like what is he doing over there? Like what is he what do he got going on over there? And maybe I don't know. Like,
and I even got the emails where I even sent that shit to I think they have an email they sent me back then. You know what I'm saying? Whenever that shit happened. But I did send the email of the URL to the show to missingchildren.org and the FBI. So I actually talked to the FBI. That was the FBI call right there on that. You know what I'm saying? They had sent me an email, and so I had to send all that shit. And I got copies of all that shit I sent from back then. So, you know, there you have it. You know what I'm saying? That nigga was over there lying, trying to put me in some bullshit. You know what I mean? But that's what niggas do. They got to do all that weirdo shit. They got to do all that weirdo shit, lie. You know, niggas out here going to glory holes and shit, wearing dresses. They ain't taking no IDs. You know what I'm saying? And as far as that guy, you know, I mean, that was predatory behavior of him to actually take that woman's photo and make up, you know, and present it online as if he had a sexual relationship with the girl that I showed y'all on the last video I did on my main channel. So, I mean, at the end of the day, if ain't nobody got no real charges on them, you know, we can't say nothing. Now, we do know that Ken Nola has charges in Virginia. He actually has charges. So there's a person in the beef sector that has charges on them, and for revenge porn in Virginia, you know, and dissemination of, you know, pornography material, whatever it's called. You know, he does have some things pending on him, you know, but that's in the state of Virginia alone. But, you know, it is what it is. So some people got charges, and You know, they out here, you know, no one's really questioning them or whatever. I mean, that's everybody's prerogative. I'm not going to cry about it. Y'all do what y'all want to do with it. I know for me and my household, what we're going to do, you know what I'm saying? What me and my channel are going to do. And, you know what I'm saying? That's all I can do is speak for myself. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, all this shit is going to follow people if they do get a break and they do want to blow up and be better people. You know what I'm saying? And have a bigger platform. You know, you don't want to be out here saying some crazy ass shit about how you F a child. You know, come on. You know, and what black man in their right mind would even say some shit like that? And even saying things like that, I'm just talking about for the black men, you know. But for black men to like talk graphically about children, gay, straight, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? That shit ties into a stereotype that has been put on our back since they first had movies. One of the first movies they had put out in the movie theater was Birth of the Nation, and it said that black men would have sex with anything. Like we were just horn dogs and we just have sex with anything. So when you hear these men out here, you know, talking about they have sex with underage kids or they do things to kids, that is playing into KKK stereotypes about black men. Racist stereotypes about black men. And that's why one of the things they do to all the black men when they get too powerful or whatever happens, you'll see some women from like how they did Bill Cosby, literally had women come from like 1979, you know what I'm saying, 35, almost 40 years later, and with their claims. And Bill Cosby did some time in jail until he got free, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. You know? And, you know, it's so prevalent with black celebrities that we don't know like truthfully, we don't know if they're playing in our face with it or they're just weaponizing this against the black man. But no black man should ever play into no fucking in their right mind would play and should play into any type of rape talk about women or children or even men. You know, nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like that should just be off the fucking books. Just should not come out no man's mouth, no black man's mouth, especially because it plays into one of the first movies in Hollywood. And the movie was about making us look like we're animals that would just have sex with anything. And that goes for all black men. But like I said, I'm just Octavius. And it's my opinion. You know what I mean? People can do whatever they want to do. But like I said, all these things have consequences. And who knows what doors can open up for you. But hey, if you out here saying these type of things, and then people check your record, hey, they could want to feature in a movie, a documentary or something, or whatever. But they find out that you're saying that type of shit, you know, you're not going to be, you know, they ain't going to want to, no, Hollywood ain't finna fuck with you. You know, you can get your break. You can become a job. You get a government clearance or some shit. Everything checking out, but hey, you saying crazy shit like that. So, you know, do whatever y'all want to do. All I could do is to inform those that can listen. Govern your body, govern your mind. And also, you know what I'm saying? All these sins, all that wickedness, it can affect any one of us. Don't be a portal to let that shit in, though. Don't allow yourself to hold on to dark thoughts and have that shit crystallize in your mind where you want to perform actions. You know what I'm saying? Learn to control yourself. And that's all I have to say about the YUSUF thing. Thank y'all for coming through. You know what I mean? I usually come on and we do a little laughy laugh or whatever, but you know, this is a serious matter. And like I said, you know what I mean? I almost came to tears when I thought about the little ones in my family, man. You know, like, cause that shit really hurt, bro. Like, you know, like a motherfucker is out here stalking babies and shit, and you look at your fucking, you know what I'm saying, your kids, or your, you know, look at your niece, your nephew and shit, and how they look at you, and you're like, you know what I mean, like, and I've been in the struggle when I ain't really had shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, my money fucked up, you know what I'm saying? It's Christmas time. Hey, I might just have $50 to my name. That's it. And I'm spending $45 to get, you know, the kid a toy. That's how much I love them. That's how much I want to see that smile on their face. You know what I'm saying? And for a motherfucker to think that he gonna go or she gonna go and you get their fucking pleasure off a baby, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Think you gonna get your pleasure off a fucking baby? Like how Sheena acted and shit, man. Listen, I salute her for that. You know what I'm saying? That lady ain't really a violent person like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like that's like the most innocent thing. It's like you don't even want to tell these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? I went years on here, didn't even tell these animals that I had a child until he went off to the military. You know what I'm saying? Getting called all kind of thing. My sperm don't work, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I endure all that shit. I take all that. As a matter of fact, I don't give a fuck about what no troll got to say. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Nobody ain't got no docs on here. Thank God. And he a man now. You know what I'm saying? And like, he on his own. You know, he got a girlfriend and shit. You know? And I'm happy for him. But then when you think about these little ones, you know, the nieces, shit, the nephews, all that, you know, the little cousins, shit, and the motherfucker is plotting. This punk ass nigga is plotting to entice your child to somewhere so he can fuck them up, give them AIDS and some more shit, and cast all his demonic energy and demons off of him onto your child. Man, fuck that shit. And for like gay men, I can't be, you know what I'm saying, me being on social media and me being in a conscious community. You know what I'm saying? Where I would say a lot of them were not vocal about, you know, their true motivations. But being on social media and being in what they call, this is show business. Yeah, gay men, you know, are here. You know what I'm saying? They're here. You know what I mean? And if you're going to be around and you want to kind of like, if you're going to be around, especially in these, you know, online space communities or whatever, they're very prevalent in these spaces. Can't get around it. And I had to learn a lot more about their struggles and things like that. And I understand it's a struggle for them. You know what I'm saying? That they are, you know, that it's a stereotype. And I'm not here to press the gas on stereotypes for people. You know what I'm saying? But me giving my commentary is not encouraging anybody to harm anybody or have these thoughts about anybody or whatever, you know what I'm saying, to like prejudge people. But what the damage comes from within with people like YUSUF. You know what I'm saying? Because the truth is that animal instinct to protect the babies, to protect like youth, because it ain't about like I'm thinking about, oh, let's be real. I'm not thinking about kids across the country like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. But when I do think about children, I think about my own son. I think about, you know, when he was young. I think about, you know, my nieces, my nephews, you know, my little cousins and shit. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, now that they're young, you know what I'm saying? They're the youngest and stuff like that, you know? And you just think about the innocence of them. And you think about when you was a child, you know, just had a little kid, little baby and, you know, in my family, you know what I'm saying? That just turned a number, you know what I mean? And it's fucked up. I can't even tell y'all. You know, and they're so happy and so self-aware. And I remember when I remember one of my first memories, not my first, but I remember being like 5 years old, and I went in my sister's room and got on her bed and started jumping in the bed, and I said, I'm five. You know what I'm saying? And just thinking about them innocent thoughts is just like, damn, I'm 5 years old. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, Santa's coming and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I want my relatives and these babies around me, you know what I'm saying, to have a beautiful childhood. Like we dealt with poverty, we dealt with being poor, we dealt with hard times, and there were good times when my dad was balling out of control, you know, and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But it was all love. At the end of the day, I wasn't touched, I wasn't violated or nothing like that. And I want that for every child, because like my childhood was so great. And I see some of the people that I know that have been violated, and they have told me stories. One of my first love in college showed me the scar when she was young, where somebody violated her as a young girl. And when I saw that, the realization of what happened, it made me weep. Like, and knowing how good of a person that woman is, you know, especially during that time we were together, the first time I ever cried in front of a woman, just realizing that how much I love this woman, and somebody violated her as a child. She carries a scar from it for life. And so, like, for YUSUF to go through whatever suffering he got coming, and I'm pretty sure, like, when people deal with those devils and them demons to jump on you, it's like they lead these people blindly. They be led, and then by the time you're in jail facing fucking life, Because 30 years for Yusuf is life. The Yusuf got to be like 40 some years old. If if he do 30 years, he getting out at 70, and he's a child molester in jail. He ain't finna make that time, especially in no damn Georgia. His life is over, and I'm pretty sure that he's in jail, facing all that time. He ain't calling it on Satan. He ain't calling on Saturn. You know what I'm saying? He trying to get it right with y'all, God. Now that devil done led him to do all that evil shit. That the devil done led him to probably says children that he done messed with and violated. You know what I'm saying? That devil allowed him to do all that evil, and now that demon that got it, that demon done left. That demon out there seeking for a new vessel to go out there and do the same thing. It don't need Yusuf no more. But understanding that, guys, when I saw the scar on this girl. It was not it was not a graphic scar, but you could see what the flesh was torn a long, long time ago, and there was stitches on that, whatever. And this is these people that do these things and did to children. And I'm not up here trying to be like Mr. Save the Universe and shit, but I want y'all to really understand the gravity of what this is. Child grew up in foster care. I don't know how, but she grew up in foster care. And I used to ask her, I was like, well, how did your parents, what happened to your parents, your real life, bro? Oh, they died in a car accident. And I think back, that was actually a lie. And it is, it's a good thing for y'all. Like sometimes we as adults, that when we love our partners, and sometimes don't feel bad about you done got played because you love somebody and then that you may not got the love back that you wanted. But just thank God that you got the love in your heart, period. And even for your own child's sake, that you got the ability to love and care for other human beings, especially little children. Especially those that are vulnerable. Like, with all your suffering from your heart being broken, torn in pieces by people throughout the years because of your good nature. Just thank God that you were a respite for the innocent. That when innocents were around you, they were safe. They are safe. I'm not gonna get on here and say, yeah, would I fight a dude? Yeah, but do I want to kill people? No, I don't want to have no bodies on me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want. If I want and I die to go to God, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to have no bodies on me. I don't want to go before God where God can like look at me and like, yeah, and ask me like, did you tell me, remember how you messed up this person's life? How I took somebody's life. And I thank God, like all the things I have done, I thank God I can go to God blameless in a certain sense. I ain't never take no man's life. I ain't never like openly defrauded somebody and left them broke and took everything they ever owned. You know what I mean? I ain't never used nobody for my selfish pleasures like that. You know what I'm saying? So for all y'all that have good hearts, I want y'all to like rejoice in the fact that, you know what I'm saying, y'all are good people. And you know, we just need more of y'all. You know what I'm saying? We need more good people because there are darkness, there are devils out here that don't give a damn. They don't give a damn about any of that stuff I was just talking about. They just want their pleasure. They want your money. They want power. And just let y'all know, y'all the salt of the earth, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all pray for y'all children, man. You know, when y'all children go out there, you know what I'm saying? Pray over your children. Get right with God. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, come on here, have fun. But get right with God and pray over your kids, man, because it's like, you know what I'm saying? That child could have got snatched up and disappeared and thrown in some woods or some shit. And I'm being real, man. That wicked motherfucker could have like did his thing and went out there, had a fucking shovel. He probably had a shovel in his car. Okay? And y'all think I'm bullshit. I'm just saying there's wicked ass niggas out here. It's wicked motherfuckers out here. And sometimes y'all depressed about being good people, but you're a good person and you did everything you could for your niece, your nephew, your son, your daughter and shit. You ain't got shit and everything like that. But nigga, you got a good motherfucking heart and you got it where you can raise up a king or a queen and shit in a protected environment. And you make sure that you watch over your kid. Because there are evil motherfuckers like YUSUF out here. And ain't nobody really breaking that shit down. Niggas too worried about protecting the gay community from slander or whatever the fuck. Nigga, but it's about fucking kids. Nobody gives a fuck about that shit. I'm gonna be real. If you know you ain't doing shit and you gay, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? And motherfuckers gonna have their stereotypes, just like gonna have stereotypes about black men. They, you know, being thieves or whatever the fuck they want to put on whatever it is. We deal with bullshit and stereotypes and racism, xenophobia, all kinds of shit. But at the end of the day, sometimes y'all gotta step back from that goddamn gay shit. And nigga, this is about motherfucking kids, man. This is about a motherfucker out here that want to take the fucking smile off my motherfucking niece and my motherfucking nephew's fucking face, nigga. Or even kill them after they done did what the fuck they did. And niggas around here thinking it's some politics shit. Thank God they caught that evil motherfucker. This is not no blameless act or like he just got caught. No, this motherfucker is a piece of shit and he deserved to be where the fuck he at. Cause he was trying to lure a fucking baby out to get off. Okay? He was trying to lure a fucking kid off into the cut to get the fuck off and then fuck whatever happens after that. You know what I'm saying? If the kid, scream or he breaks something inside the kid or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? That, hey, might be shoot him or whatever the fuck and bury him out in the fucking woods. Y'all been to Georgia. It's woods every fucking where. It's cold as fuck outside in Georgia and shit. You know what I'm saying? You fly over Atlanta, all you see is fucking woods. It ain't it's woods all over fucking Georgia, man. It's some deep shit. I'm just saying, man, all the niggas, I've been listening to niggas pity pat about that shit or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? And I'm making it about YUSUF. I said some names and shit in the whatever, but some as far as impulse control and shit. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers want to tie my name to bullshit or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? But motherfucker, at the end of the day, them goddamn white folks downtown, Octavius clean as fuck. That's all the fuck that matters. And Octavius ain't never came out here and said what the fuck he'd do to somebody's baby. Period. No, you can go about what a man said and fucking did. And I ain't trying to lose my soul or go to hell for now, motherfucker. But yeah, man, like shit, we could be here all day because I'm like thinking about this shit. And when you start thinking about the babies or the kids or, the children in your life that you hold dear, we love, we got love for all the kids. And I want everybody, you know what I'm saying? I want everybody to have a beautiful child. I want all the children to have a beautiful childhood. But I ain't gonna lie, that shit broke my heart years ago with that 11-year-old girl. We found out she was getting raped. And that nigga came out of jail, living home with his mom. His mom was a stud, got living with her girlfriend and got a mixed race child. And this grown ass man, 26 years old, was having sex with this baby. And she ran out in the street. I know she died in the middle of the street. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't want her to tell on him. And they gave that motherfucker the death penalty here in the state of Florida. And the kids were confused in her elementary school that she was dead. And this is kind of energy that YUSUF embodied, trying to lure a child out for his own gratification. It is selfish as fuck. And they're childhood survivors of trauma and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And if you are one of those people, I salute you. Or what, you know what I'm saying? I salute you. And you are a survivor. You're more than a conqueror. If you came out of that intact, you came out of that and you're doing your big one. You know what I'm saying? I salute you and everything like that. But you know what I'm saying? If you feeling any guilt from that, that wasn't you didn't do nothing to make that adult do what they did to you. You were manipulated. Whatever lie that the devil came up to make you feel like you were guilty if you were a victim of a person like that, You know what I'm saying? It's just that a lie. But protect y'all babies. Get right with God, man. Pray over your kids. Pray over your loved ones. You know what I'm saying? Because the devil's out here seeking whom he can may devour. You know what I'm saying? And who knows what the police has saved the community from with that devil, YUSUF. You know, and may he burn in hell. Because I can almost feel like it ain't his first time. It's the time he got caught. All right, peace, y'all.